This edition of the MG Trophy Championship is brought to you by Lisi Classics. A very warm welcome to Oulton Park for the Lisi Classics MG Trophy. The championship entering its penultimate weekend of the season, with Joe Delgado leading the championship from Josh Bromley. Matt Harvey, the Class C leader, is in third. Class A headed by Jason Burgess from Adam Jackson, just a point between those two. Patrick Booth confused things. He has raced in two classes so far this year, both of them very well indeed. The garages are full, the racetrack is in good shape, and Barry is down in the pits, ready to talk to one of our returnees to the championship, Ross Macker. Here's Barry.
Ross, been a little while since we caught up with you. Now, MG Trophy-wise, you're here as a guest appearance, really, aren't you, today? Last time out was at Silverstone, I think.
Yeah, that didn't go so well for me. The last time out, we had an engine failure. And we've been on the back burner. We've been doing different bits of racing, but I was missing it, so we thought we'd come out for this guest appearance.
Great livery on the car. I do love the way you've put it together here. Now, what's your expectations for today? You've just done qualifying. How did that go?
It was a bit busy out there on the track, but we've come in P2, so a respectable result. But the good news is that all the 190s are quite close together, so it's going to be a good race out there today, and that's all I'm looking for. I don't have any expectations. I just want a good fun race, because I've missed this.
I was just saying, you're never far from a racetrack, so what have you been doing?
Working mostly. I've had to work in the United States to commission chemical plants, but I'm back now, out in the car, and I'm ready.
Car's running pretty well, must do if you're a P2, I suppose. So, an Oulton Park, you normally fare fairly well here?
It's not usually a bad circuit for me, yeah, but there's fast people out there, so we'll see how it goes. Everyone's up for it.
Joe, we've just done qualifying here at Oulton Park. Now, you coming into this round doing pretty well. I think you're 1 point ahead on the points table there. But how's the season gone for you so far?
Yeah, so it's been best season to date. I mean, I got my first win at the first round of the year. Since then, it's been getting better and better. Had a little bit of a not as great weekend at Donington last time out. Struggled with the conditions a bit, but yeah, it's all been going strong. Did testing here yesterday. The car felt great, and it was just on rails all day and got some good times in. This morning in quali, the track didn't quite feel the same, struggling to get the same sort of times, but the car still felt good. Well, that was until the oil got dropped down all the way around the circuit, and then I had to back out of that.
Back to the points table. Obviously, you got your eyes on the prize there. That's all we're going pretty well then so far. We're not done yet, though.
No. So we got this 2 races here at Oulton, and then we got the ones at Snet. So we're all so close that anything is up for grabs, so you just got to take it a race at a time and hope for the best.
I'll say multiple champion, because you've won this championship twice in the past, and we keep meeting on podiums and so forth, yet this year, not gone so well.
No, it's last year I only did one race last year, had a disastrous brands and just lost the will to go racing, to be honest with you, and I've not had a great start to this year. Crashed that car, a left-hand drive one at Brands, and then I crashed a right-hand drive car at Cardwell. So 2 meetings, 2 big accidents, and again I just kind of lost the impetus to do it. And then one Saturday morning I woke up and I thought, I'm going to sort that one, and whenever I get it sorted, it'll be the next meeting I'll go out at. So that's why I'm here at Oulton. And I don't know. I don't know if I still quite have the same joie de vivre about the whole thing, you know. Spent a lot of energy, time and money doing 18 and 19, which were successful. So just here for a bit of fun this weekend, see how it goes. Times aren't good so far. Been doing a bit of experimenting with suspension and everything on the car, so we'll see what happens. Sun's out, the open track, lovely, can't really complain.
Adam, great to see you here at Oulton Park, qualifying done and dusted. Now, bumper not on the car, what's going on there?
Yeah, it's got a habit of coming off. I think it's happened pretty much every round that we've done so far. So, but yeah, just a bit hot into the chicane, bottomed the car out and pulled the bumper off. It's not the most secure bumper. So.
Just cosmetic, there's nothing else wrong.
Yeah, no, it's hopefully we'll get it back on there. The boys are working on it now, and we'll be sorted for the race.
So as we start this round, you're 1 point behind, I think, in the Class A's Jason. So that's pretty tight at this stage of the season.
Yeah, I think it's just been, I don't know whether we've had outright speed this year, but a bit of consistency has helped us, and yeah, it's getting close, so it's all to play for now, I suppose.
Superb entry we've got for you today, with Adam Jackson starting on pole position from Ross Macker, then Jason Burgess and Graham Ross on row 2 ahead of Doug Cole. Then it's the Class B poleman Joseph Delgado from Josh Bromley. Expect a big battle between those. Colin Robertson's back out in the MG3, and the 160s headed by Matt Harvey from James Blake and Kaylee Powers. It's going to be a very busy race. Plenty to watch as we start the penultimate event of the 2022 season. And the Lisi Classics MG Trophy Race 1 is underway here at Oulton Park. And it's Adam Jackson that leads. Going backwards is Ross Macker. Ross Macker right in the thick of things. Round his outside goes Graham Ross. So Ross Macker is right the way back. And contact with Doug Cole. Now the two of them are going to argue that one out. Doug Cole spins. Let's wait for him to come to a standstill. You can see that Ross Macker bounces his way across the grass and he's right at the back of the field now. And that won't be anything that will be celebrated by the pair of them. You could probably argue first turn bunching. I guess the clerk will sort it out at the end of the day. But a coming together is what was happening as the back bumper, I think that is, on the lead car. It was a concern before the start of the race. And there is Doug Cole. A big disappointment for Doug and for us. Wanted to see him after a great meeting at Donington Park last time out for Doug. Now everybody else sorting themselves out. That is significant because that's the battle for the championship. Joseph Delgado in the 93 car, the championship leader by a solitary point, as you saw from our graphic at the start of the programme, is there ahead of Josh Bromley. And Bromley will be keen to try and get past him and needs to outscore him. Incredibly close. 1 point separates first and second in the championship. A little bit of a lock up there from Josh Bromley in the 97. He, of course, is under pressure from Jack Chapman at the moment as well. They're the top three drivers in the 170 class. The 190s are the orange sunstrip, plus the here we come with the lead battle. And it's Jason Burgess putting big pressure on the race leader, Adam Jackson, at the moment. Burgess has good form around here, having taken 2 wins. Took the double in 2018. He's looking to the outside here. Adam Jackson rightly defends the inside. Jason Burgess tries. I'll tell you what, I've seen drivers in championships further up the ladder, shall we say, come a cropper with move like that, but these drivers don't. Great respect. Super clean racing between the pair. And Burgess looks down the inside side by side as they go into Old Hall Corner. Burgess should get the lead, but hanging on to it here is Adam Jackson. There they come. Down towards Cascades. Jackson's hanging on the inside here. He could well now as they go. Then a right-hand kick, now the left-hand bend. Jackson's still there, but Burgess is still holding on to it. They've got another left-hander coming up as they head towards the hairpin, the Shell Oils hairpin. Jackson's got the initiative here. But if Burgess can hold on, he'll grab the inside line as they go into the hairpin, which looms ahead. You can see it's effectively an Essex that they're going through. Burgess has got the inside. Jackson is going to have to climb the banking. Burgess goes through into the lead. That was a great piece of racing from the pair of those drivers. Absolutely brilliant. Super respect. Sam Meager having it off, but rejoining. Well done, Sam. That lead battle was absolutely brilliant. Side by side, respect given, and a pass made by Ross Macker on his recovery through the field, passing Tyler Ballard. Tyler, of course, third in the 170 class championship-wise. And Ross using the 190 to good effect, closing in on Josh Bromley now. Bromley's been dropped a little bit by championship leader Joseph Delgado. Remember, 3 different classes. Effectively, you score more points if you win in a class with more drivers. Macca through on the inside. This is a great recovery. One of the totally useless floppy markers being punted off track. Really can't see the points of those. I've never met anybody who particularly likes them. 72 is Andrew Heron, 55. Kaylee Powell back with us again. Kaylee's third meeting of the season. They've got a car going for a brew and pulling off to the inside. I think that's Tyler Ballard, isn't it? That's a major shame for Tyler in his quest to be up for silverware at the end of the season. That's certainly going to put him on the back foot at the moment here as things start to settle down here. What a dramatic race we've had. So Ross Macca making progress through the field. There is Jack Chapman actually leading the group. And Adam Jackson in his chase of Jason Burgess. Now that is not a thing he wants to do here. It looks like a run-off at Oulton Park, but it's an assault course. When you go over, in fact we can see from the onboard here, so Adam loses it slightly going into the corner, collects it all up, but then he's a passenger over the cross. Look at that. It's a roller coaster ride, and not good for your back, not good for the car at all. Wonderful to see Fergus Campbell back in the championship. He's the fluorescent colour car. Fergus still. Oh, and contact in front there as Josh Bromley has a nibble at Jack Chapman. Is still fighting it. Contact between the two of them, and Fergus Campbell nips through. I was about to say Fergus made his co-commentary debut with me at a meeting at Thruxton a few weeks ago, which was an absolute pleasure. And nice to see him back on track with the Leasey Classics MG Trophy meeting here at Oulton Park. Ross Macca has recovered exceptionally well. Joe Delgado has maybe taken an opportunity to try and follow him. They're ahead of this group of cars, battling it out in this first race of the day. Adam Jackson then, after that grassy moment, will rejoin, but a little bit further down the order. Loads of work to do for Adam Jackson, the Yorkshireman. And that is disappointing. That is a big shame, because Graham Ross in the interview was saying that he was feeling a little bit deflated, and that's not going to do his passion for racing much good, is it? A retirement. Very sad to see the former champion go out. This is Adam Jackson trying to recover. Slippery surface flag being shown. Closing in on Kaylee Powell immediately in front of us. Kaylee again running strongly in the 160 brake class. And Kaylee here, this is significant because we've got 2 blue cars in shot. Kaylee's not that far away from Andrew Heron in the 170s. There is Andrew in the 72 car. Kaylee negotiated on the recovery by Adam Jackson. And Kaylee's having a good run here. The 160 class car not that far away from this 170 we're about to pass of former drag racer Andrew Heron, the man from Northwood in Middlesex. 28 years of age, goes through on the inside, does Adam Jackson, missing the back bumper. Now here's Ross Macca again. Jason Burgess is the race leader. This is for second position. Great to see the MG3 in second place, an overall podium. Of course, there aren't any other MG3s racing at the moment. Lots of drivers sort of making noises about maybe building them, which is great news for the championship. And maybe they should get 3 or 4 drivers just to commit to build them, get the class going. And here, when you see what Colin Robertson could do with the car, multi-champion, I think the most successful driver, certainly in terms of those here today, the most successful driver here at Oulton Park. 4 wins, double in 2013, 1 in 2015, 1 in 2016. And Ross Macca having a look now, tries to go up the inside at the MG3. Colin Robertson, I think, will be enjoying this. Battle between the 2 Scots. Ross Macca, who I have seen racing in other formulae this year, is working hard, looks to the outside. The MG3 will have the defensive line into Old Hall. Super battle for second place. Now, of course, Ross, even though we could describe him as a guest driver because he hasn't done the full championship, still would love the points, and he wants to get a podium. And both of these 2 guys effectively could be regarded as guests, I suppose, because they're not really in with a shout at the overall championship. And therefore we watch this for what it is, which is a great battle for P2 in the race. Jason Burgess the leader. Jason's won here before, having had a double in 2018. Now Ross Macker, what can he do? Great view of the, they're not called the S's, but you can see the S configuration as they go into the hairpin, the Shell Oils hairpin, out of that down to the Britain's chicane. So come through here. Colin Robertson doing a super job of defending that second position in the MG3, showing us what the future might hold in the MG Trophy Championship. And as I say, drivers, when you watch this back, if you're thinking about building one, just go ahead and do it, and let's get a proper class going for next year. That'll be absolutely mega amongst the other cars. So Ross Macker in the 173 car, chasing hard, now has got some momentum, draws side by side here with Colin Robertson. Is he going to get the job done under the footbridge? I think he might be clear. I'm looking either side. He is, he's done it, he's through into second position. Wonderful stuff for him. Fergus Campbell dicing hard here with Josh Bromley. So Fergus Campbell is running well. Josh Bromley, that is for second place in class. Joseph Delgado is clear of these guys. So Fergus Campbell leads this one. Again, don't see enough of Fergus in the championship. Great to see him here today. Had the pleasure of Fergus being co-commentator for me trackside at a meeting at Thruxton earlier on in the year, which was really good. A real pleasure to have him as a knowledgeable driver. Always great to have a driver with you in the commentary box on those days to, I was going to say, lighten the load, but more importantly, just inform the crowd. And Fergus did a sterling job. And great to see him back on track, of course. Always preferred to see him on track. But thank you to him for that. And it's James Blake, newcomer to the championship. James running well in the 102 car. Sam Meager, after he's off earlier on in the race, running well. And there is Matt Harvey, the race leader in the 160 class once again, the standard power class 160s. Again, a good entry level for this formula. We've seen so many drivers move on. If you think about Tyler Ballard, who obviously isn't running in this race anymore, Tyler's won many times in this championship here at Oulton Park, including 2 class wins in the 160s a few years ago and 3 Class B wins. So they've been shared about the wins in class, all of the classes over the years. So Ross Macker, we are on board with, has closed down on Jason Burgess. Macker, fastest lap is with Jason Burgess, believe it or not. I think he's had the wake up, having seen Ross Macker after a dismal start for Ross. Can't see Doug Cole shaking his fists as he goes past, probably being a little bit flippant about that, which is not really fair on either driver. Not sure what caused that first turn bunching or otherwise. They'll probably sort it out amongst themselves. But Macker here trying to close in on the race leader. Burgess with fastest lap on that last lap, and Ross Macker is closing in on him as they go up into the hairpin. This the battle for the lead. Macker having cleared Colin Robertson, who still runs in third place. Little bit of a mistake there from Jason Burgess, who might have afforded himself a glance in the mirror or two. Now, has that disrupted him enough for Ross Macker to close in and have a stab at getting the lead? Macker has been a man possessed in the second half of this race and has driven superbly, as has Adam Jackson coming through. Jackson looking to try and challenge Paul Savage in the red and yellow car. Paul running 4th at the moment in Class A. So Adam trying to get a podium here. Good recovery, look at that. He gets up onto a potential podium position. Again, passes Kaylee Powell, who does great driving to the outside run. Matt Harvey is next up. Matt Harvey is who's being chased by Jason Burgess. I'm not sure whether Jason's going to get past. He will on the run to the line. So Jason Burgess will take the victory here, I think, as he comes down into Lodge Corner for the last time. He's got a little bit in hand here. Fastest lap for Burgess, had to work hard to get into the lead ahead of Adam Jackson early on in the race, and now goes across the line to take the win. Burgess wins. Ross Macker in second position. Crossing the line was Matt Harvey. There is Matt Harvey going across the line now. Colin Robertson takes third place, a win in the MG3 class, again showing what that car can do, an overall podium on this occasion. And Joe Delgado will extend the championship lead here in the best subscribed class, the 170 class. And Delgado crosses the line and takes fourth position, but a class win in the 93. Josh Bromley will take second in Class B. John Donnelly will be third in class. And well, that race had a bit of everything. It had a super lineup at the start. It had some real cut and thrust, some great overtakes and terrific battling, and really the hallmark of this championship, I have to say. And fitting that we've got such a great entry and great racing in the penultimate event of the year. There is Matt Harvey, who won Class C. James Blake second in Class. Kaylee Powell picks up third position. Here's the result. Burgess from Macca and Robertson. Joseph Delgado wins Class B from Josh Bromley's championship rival. Then we go back to Class A. Adam Jackson and Paul Savage ahead of John Donnelly, third in Class B from Matt Harvey and James Blake. In 10th place, the finishes completed by Andrew Heron and Kaylee Powell. Fastest laps in class, Jason Burgess, Colin Robertson, Joe Delgado and Matt Harvey. Let's have a word with our top drivers.
Jason, great way to start the weekend there. A race win, well deserved. It wasn't that easy. Busy first couple of laps, then you got the gap, then Ross was on your tail.
Yes, it was an eventful race. I got a good start, managed to get up to second going into the first corner, but the lead car managed to get a bit of a gap. And then I focused on closing in on the leader, which is quite interesting because actually on the first lap his bumper flew up in the air and nearly came through the window screen. And then I managed to catch him on the second lap into the first corner, and Adam and I were side by side for the next 1, 2, 3, 4, about 6 corners. And total respect for him and myself, we didn't touch at all. But anyway, what was nearly very interesting again was his bumper was in the middle of the track as we were still side by side. And I thought, oh, this bumper's a bit annoying. But yeah, really good race. I ended up with a big lead and then backed off a bit, and then saw Ross coming fast in the rear view mirror. And the reason I backed off was because there's some oil on the circuit on the chicane, and I thought it was such a big lead, I'll be a bit of an idiot to go off on my own. So I then had to speed up, and I think I put my fastest lap in once Ross had caught me up. So very good, I enjoyed it.
Now Ross, that looks like a pretty successful return to the track.
Yeah, highs and lows, obviously, other than the first lap incident, which was a racing incident, but still, no one's happy about it. I'm not happy about it. A good drive from the back of the field to try and catch up, and people dropped off like flies, and I found myself behind Jason, and that turned out to be second place. But not a bad return. I used up my tyres catching him up. I just didn't have anything left in the tank to make it past, and I think he was holding on to a little bit of pace as well. As I said, the older ones, they're tricky.
Joe, great success there, winning the class, fourth overall as well, and a 10-second lead on your next contender.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad race, but to be honest, I didn't get the best of starts. I had Josh Bromley come flying up my side and then just stuck it round the outside. It was still side by side with him, and then it was coming together up ahead with the 190, so I just managed to peel my way through there and get in front, and then from there it was just building up the gap in between, and then slowly cars just dropped off left, right and centre really. At one point I was sitting third overall, but then Ross Macca soon came through and took that off me. But yeah, it got quite tricky when Tyler dropped all his oil. His oil cooler went, I think. So yeah, that was a bit of a pain for him because he had a lot of hard work putting the engine in overnight, so it's not great. But yeah, slidey through the second chicane, but kept it all on the black stuff and just kept building the gap.
Matt, a great win there. A very busy race overall. It seemed to get a little bit spaced out, but that's one in the bag for you.
Yeah, no, it went pretty well. It was just sort of a race of attrition, I think. Coming through in 9th overall in a 160 is something that doesn't happen very often. So yeah, just kept it on the road. Had a little bit of worrying with a bit of blue smoke at the start of the race, but it seemed to clear out towards the end. So yeah, we got there.
First season doing this as well. How's it gone so far for you?
Yeah, no, it's been great. Unfortunately not had the competition in some of the races, so it's only been me at some events, but when there are other people here like there are today, it's great fun, and yeah, good to take the win back as well.
Welcome back to Oulton Park and the penultimate event of the season, the Lisi Classics MG Trophy here in Cheshire. Race 1 was absolutely superb. Lots of fettling and refettling to be done. You just saw Tyler Ballard there. Not sure if Tyler's going to take to the grid for race 2. James Cole, who missed race 1, was a non-starter, will, we're being told, be out on track, which is great news. And there's a question mark over Kaylee Powell. Now, who's second in the championship at the moment? It's Josh Bromley. Barry's with him.
Josh, good result there. Second in class, 5th overall as well. So you must be pleased with that.
Yeah, pleased with it. Obviously, it's not the number 1 spot we wanted, but yeah, second's not a bad result. So yeah, happy.
Joe's pretty hard to keep hold of, isn't he?
Yeah, I sort of was up with him on the first lap. Made a little bit of a mistake going up the hill. I can't remember the name of the corner, and he just sort of left me there, and I got handed by a couple of other people. So I had to go quite defensive, and it just allowed him to break away a little bit. So yeah, tough one.
Not as easy as it looked. We had a few cars that were going off one way or the other as well, and fluids on the chicane. So it was hard to be flat out all the time as well. Yeah,
there was a lot of oil on the track, or a lot of fluids anyway. It was really slippy up the back. Well, it was slipping quite a few places, to be honest with you. So it was a hard race actually, that one. Yeah, very difficult.
Your season so far has not gone too badly. I mean, Donington was a great one. First and second in that must be good for you.
Yeah, happy. Championship's gone pretty well so far. Obviously closing in towards the back end of it, so you know the results are really important for us at the minute.
James, been a while since we caught up with each other, but last time out, Donington, that was a superb, a first and a third. You must have been pleased.
Yeah, to get my first win, finally got the monkey off my back. Yeah, safe to say it was a very good weekend for the family as well, with Dad winning both races. Made it a lot better considering we had a bit of bad news for Silverstone. My grandma was seriously ill. Thankfully, she's a lot better now. So yeah, dedicated to her really.
So race 2 coming up, Oulton Park. Totally different ball game again from say Donington. I love Oulton. It's trickier I think for overtaking here and there. You were having some little tweaks done on the car earlier. Hopefully we see you out. Where do you start on the grid if we do?
Luckily in the championship they based the second race off his second fastest lap. So I'll be starting P3 again, which is where I should have started race 1. But I had a slight issue where the beam decided to crack. So we've had to source a welder and fix it.
So duly welded up. Great to see James Cole on track. We also have John Booth on track for this one. Kaylee Powell not taking to the start, sadly. Neither is Tyler Ballard. We wish them well and hope to see them for the championship finale at Snetterton. Double pole for Adam Jackson. Ross Macker alongside Jason Burgess lining up on row 2 with Graham Ross. We wish him better luck. And Doug Cole as well, who is 5th. Joseph Delgado pole for Class B. Matt Harvey just ahead of James Blake in Class C. So second and final race of the day for the Lisi Classics MG Trophy here at Oulton Park. Away we go. It's a better start this time by Ross Macker, and his pace at the end of race number 1 means that he could be a race contender. So too though is Jason Burgess, who squeezes up through the inside looking for the lead to repeat his race 1. We've got a car, that's Colin Robertson in the MG3 who runs wide. Thankfully the car is okay, rejoins with Andrew Heron. Super pace, wasn't it, from Colin Robertson in race number 1. Wonderful to see him up on podium pace, absolutely brilliant. And I can't wax lyrical enough about the MG3, so exciting for the future of the championship. And Joe Delgado is being beaten at the moment by Josh Bromley, the battle for the championship. You've got to have eyes everywhere in MG Trophy. You've got to watch the overall race leaders and the 190 battle, the 170 battle, the 160 battle. Then you've got to watch out and see how well the MG3s are doing as well. So Joe Delgado, the championship leader, extended that single point championship lead in race number 1. Fergus Campbell making a move through there in the fluorescent car and passes Sam Meager, now trying to close in on Jack Chapman, the 20-year-old from Chelmsford in Essex. Here we go on board with John Booth in the 50 car, the 54-year-old from Chesterfield. racing in other formulae as well this year, just loves being out racing all the time. Graham Ross looking a bit happier in this one, which is great to see, although at the moment struggling to try and get on terms with Joe Delgado. Now Joe here, if he lets that faster car through, could then maybe use Graham Ross to try and tow him up towards the 97 car, Josh Bromley, who leads the 170 class at the moment. Josh, 25 years of age, from Hilton in Derbyshire, so near to where we were last time at Oulton Park. So the race settling down. Race one, a fine race really, lots of great stories to take away. Fergus on the inside line is going to try and nick through, which he does on Jack Chapman. His next target will be James Cole in the green car, but out front, we'll come back to the front a little bit later on as through they go. We can see that Colin Robertson has made some progress already. Graham Ross still trying to get past the 160 class cars. Let's hope that Graham gets a good finish here. Really deserves it, the amount of effort. Wonderful to see him back in the championship, and it of course means that we've got so many really quick front-running drivers back with us this weekend. Adam Jackson, the leader, from Jason Burgess. Jason, who won race one. A little bit of a lock-up from Jason going into the hairpin. Jason running well nonetheless, trying to put the pressure on Adam Jackson. Jackson, I think I mentioned in race number one at Snetterton in 2020, which was a non-championship year, so looking for his first championship win is Jackson. Again, we'll come back to that because Fergus Campbell putting the pressure on James Cole here. All of these drivers well capable of taking class wins. Jack Chapman in the number 8, recent addition to the championship, and Joe Delgado passed there. Great move by Graham Ross. You talk about the extra power being an advantage, but Graham used that coming down the hill, but then he had to use his skill to just get the braking done on the outside and the move done on the outside. Now he tees up the inside line. Joe Delgado sees his arch rival in front, just to the left. Graham Ross has cleared both of the 160 class cars now, so Graham can set about catching the race leaders and maybe think about edging towards a possible podium. It might be wishful thinking, hopefully not pie in the sky for him. But you see what I said about Joe Delgado, he's actually closed in on Josh Bromley, so these two battling. This is what I love when motor racing works well, that you get two championship battlers. Again, I'll have to come back to that point. Colin Robertson's recovery ends with a spin, a fair amount of steam coming out of the MG3, which is a pity. Colin, take away that outright podium you got in race number one, because that was a mega achievement. It's going to be into retirement for Colin Robertson, our first retiree, at the end of lap 2, which is a major shame. Matt Harvey is racing hard as well. Our 160 class runners enjoying their battle, and Matt Harvey in the unusual position of being behind James Blake. So James Blake, the newcomer, took second position in class with Kaylee Powell. It's just these two, but we've got a battle on nonetheless, and Matt Harvey tries to close in. He loves it when there's competition. He won't love it so much being down in P2, but he's not far away, so we do have a race on there. So there is Delgado. I'll come back to this point about championships these days. You don't see too many where drivers fight it out, and John Booth, I thought he was going to go over. Thankfully not, but John Booth having a wild moment there, just looking out at the rear camera as well. And John parking up. James Cole coming under pressure from Fergus Campbell. Come back to the point about Joseph Delgado and Josh Bromley, that very rarely in championships do you see the drivers having a campaign where they are, or they might be equal on points all the way through the year. Here's the battle for the outright lead, but you rarely see where they battle hard together, as we've done here this weekend all the way through the season. And this is a great battle for the lead, and Adam Jackson here. Jason Burgess trying to squeeze through. He's going to try and get a repeat of what he did in race number one. Are they going to maintain the side-by-side racing again? It looks like they are. Jackson again is not to be moved, and he's got the inside as they come down into Cascades. Still side-by-side. Bit of deja vu here, isn't it? Burgess looks like he's got the move complete this time, a little bit earlier. They're still side by side. Remember, oh no, he has got it. So Jason Burgess now the race leader. That was hard fought for. Another great piece of racing between the pair of them. And you heard Jason saying in the interviews, and he was absolutely right, it was a superb race between them. Ross Macca, though, is closing up. Now, Macca, with his pace in race number 1, you wouldn't bet against, as the yellow flags go, I think, for John Booth's car, you wouldn't bet against the Scot. A, because he's back in harness in this car. He's got that first race under his belt. He did say that the tyres might be a little bit shot, but he's working hard. Don't discount him from an outright win here, Ross Macca. Into the green flag zone. You saw the green flags being waved there. The drivers now know that they can have a go if they need to. Jackson still second. Race leader is still Jason Burgess. Fergus Campbell making progress, but James Cole is going to be a difficult man to pass. Remember that. So relieved, as you heard in the interview, to get that first win at Donington Park. It was a great day. If you've not been to any of the MG race days, then I strongly recommend them. Any of the race days, absolutely superb. Of course, you've got the big weekend that we have at Silverstone, but a lot of the other racing's done on a single day, so you're not missing any of the action, where you can get a complete day done, travel up and back in one day, which is a wonderful thing to be able to do. Look at this championship battle going on. Joe Dalgarno, I can't stress, this is a superb battle between these two. Can't stress it enough. And Dalgarno looking for the class lead and to defend the championship lead here as well. Great racing here. Josh Bromley knows that he's got to keep Dalgarno right behind him, not just here at Oulton Park in race 2, but in the last 2 races of the season, which are going to be coming up at Snetterton. Fergus Campbell tries to get a run out of Lodge Corner, through Dearly, the climb there, up onto the green lines, now the run down in towards Old Hall Corner, turn 1. Paul Savage there, up ahead of John Donnelly. John in the 76 car, having a 190 podium in the previous race, and working hard here to try and emulate that once again. And the battle continues for this pair, and it's still Josh Bromley out front. Joseph Dalgarno has got the advantage of being the chaser, can take wider lines into some of the corners, and therefore maybe gain a little bit more momentum on the way out. There's a replay of Josh Bromley. Oh, big lock up from Josh Bromley. How on earth did he hold on to that and the lead? Great recovery, even time to look in the mirror and see where his championship and race rival is. Continuing battle in the Standard Power 160 class going on, with Matt Harvey busy chasing James Blake for 14th and 15th place at the moment. Matt Harvey having his work cut out here, in a third in the championship overall. Matt Harvey, but he'll lose points here if he stays in second position. And Dalgarno and Bromley 1 and 2 in their championship. Harvey only 5 points behind Josh Bromley coming into this meeting. As I say, the 170 class this year, all the classes have provided great racing, but the 170s have been the one with the biggest numbers, as Matt Harvey looks for the class lead, tries the outside, does a bit of a Josh Bromley, gets an armful of lock, collects it all back up, thumbs up as well from him. Amazing how the drivers have time to do that on the recovery. And James Blake here is looking pretty good. I don't want to put the curse of the commentator on him, but looking good for a maiden class victory. James Cole closing in on Andrew Heron. Andrew Heron pulls over. Great racing from Andrew. Allows the faster cars through. Fair play, Andrew Heron. That was textbook stuff. The battle between James Cole and Fergus Campbell, shy of the podium at the moment. This is not even a podium battle. That's how strong the 160s are. As I say, it is good to see Fergus Campbell back for his first race of the year, DNFing in race number 1. Lights ablaze from James Cole. Spectacular sight those two cars make. Andrew Heron running, still get 8th place in Class B. Through Delete they go again, and these two cars very evenly matched. Fergus will maybe try and pick up the inside. Slipstreaming at the moment. I thought was going to try the inside, jinks to the outside, then has a look at the inside. He is close enough, but just cannot deal with James Cole at the moment. Gets a wider run as they come out of Old Hall Corner, down through Denton's into Cascades again. The 170 class battle still very much alive here. And Dalgarno again tries the outside. If it was damp, you'd fancy that line in the banking. Turns back in. I just love the sound of these motors. Always have done ever since we first saw them. Silverstone many years ago, my first encounter with this championship. They sound absolutely brilliant. They look the business, and the cars, whilst probably being heading towards modern classics these days, still give us some great racing, and Delgado proving that. He's going to try the outside. It's an optimistic view and a big Mr. Whippy, both of them going into the chicane. Neither of them here are going to get an advantage out of it, but I think Josh probably came out slightly the stronger of the two. That was a pressure moment from both of them going into, well, they didn't go into the chicane, they were hoping to go to the chicane, but ending up straight lining it. It looks like that may have extinguished the battle for the 160s. Now, there wasn't anybody in particularly close proximity to argue that one or other driver's got an advantage. Third in class is Jack Chapman. So Joseph Delgado, that just typifies the 160 championship for me. It's going to go all the way, we hope, to Snetterton. James Cole still fending off Fergus Campbell. This is a real game of cat and mouse between these two. Fergus again looks to the outside, tries to go on the inside. There was half a gap. He knows that he doesn't want to cause damage, and just locks up. Had a look but can't quite do it. As a result of that, you can see that he's got to come again. He's got to try and get back into it. There's a little bit of damage on the back of the 88 car. Not sure where that came from. But Fergus has got to regroup. He's obviously perhaps feels he's got a little bit more in the tank than James Cole. James having to defend, of course, slows him up. But the race leader is this man, Jason Burgess, the Lincolnshire driver, who has 5 wins to his credit so far this year, and about to make it win number 6. Adam Jackson, who took 3rd place with a great recovery drive, 3rd place in class, 6th position overall, great recovery drive in race number 1. Looks like he is going to be picking up a second place of the year, having finished 2nd at Silverstone on the Grand Prix circuit and at Donington Park. So Jackson is there. Then it is Ross Macker just putting a lap there on James Blake. Ross Macker is going to grab a podium. Again, another strong drive from Ross Macker, with Graham Ross running in 4th position at the moment, having DNF'd in race number 1. But Graham Ross having a much better time of it. That's a lovely shot from Ross Macker. Shows how you do that left-hander going on to Lakeside. And Jason Burgess goes into the hairpin for the last time. You get a great view of the banking there from Burgess, who's got a problem. Burgess has got a problem on the last lap. Major drama here, and Adam Jackson goes through. Goodness me, Burgess, that is appalling luck for Jason Burgess and Adam Jackson here. Well, we can't say he's on his way to a win, because you never quite know what's going to happen in MG Trophy racing. And the Leasey Classics MG Trophy Race 2 looks like it could go the way of Leeds fan Adam Jackson, as we said, has won non-championship races before. Jackson had a double pole here. Jason Burgess getting the fastest lap of this one so far on lap 6 at 1:57.647. And Adam Jackson has got a huge lead. It means that Ross Macker will go into 2nd. Graham Ross will go onto the podium. What a turnaround for Jason Burgess, who goes from winner to non-finisher, and Graham Ross going from non-finisher to podium finisher on his return. But it's going to be a first championship race win for Adam Jackson, the man from Leeds. Massive congratulations to him as he takes the checker. It's long overdue, and he would have wanted to have beaten Jason Burgess fair and square on the track, but he'll take the win for sure. Here comes Ross Macker in 2nd place. Great weekend for Ross Macker, super driving from the Scot. And talking of Scots and great driving, Graham Ross is 3rd. Delighted to see him back on the podium. Josh Bromley, I think, will take just behind Graham Ross, we've got the 160 class winner. James Blake takes the victory. Congratulations, James Blake, on a win in his first meeting. Matt Harvey is going to take P2, valuable championship points for him as well. And it's Josh Bromley who wins the 170 class from Joseph Delgado. unless Joseph can make a last lap move round the outside. I tell you what, I was counting the chickens before they were hatched there, and Joe Delgado, I thought the battle was extinguished. Clearly not. Here they come, and it is going to be Josh Bromley that takes the class win. Super race, super weekends racing between the pair of them, and a great race between these two. Fergus Campbell still working hard, gets a little bit too much curb there, and that I think is going to be game over for him, because it's going to be James Cole fourth in the 170s from Fergus Campbell. Jack Chapman having completed the podium for the 170 class runners. There is our 160 winner again, James Blake. Goodness me, that was a terrific day's racing from the Lisi Classics MG Trophy here at Oulton Park. If you're thinking about coming racing, do yourself a favour, look at the website, grab yourself a car, come out and join us. A hire car for the last round at Snetterton this year, and maybe for next year. Hardlines Jason Burgess, but congratulations Adam Jackson from Ross Mackett and Graham Ross, Josh Bromley on just winning Class B from Joseph Delgado and Jack Chapman, James Cole fourth after a great race with Fergus Campbell, then Sam Meagher next up from Paul Savage, then it was John Donnelly and James Blake winning Class C, Matt Harvey next up second in Class C, then Andrew Heron completing our finishers' fastest laps, Jason Burgess, Joseph Delgado, James Blake and Colin Robertson.
So race 2 done and dusted. Thankfully a much better success story for you than race 1, and you weren't cursed by the bumper this time.
Yeah, we managed to do a full race with a bumper, so that's good news. But yeah, we were a bit lucky with the first place because Jason dropped out on the last lap there. But yeah, I mean, happy with the car. We replaced that damper from the first race, and it held, and the car felt good.
Ross, 2 podiums out of 2, so a good weekend.
Yeah, on paper a good weekend. I think I was gifted it this time. I didn't have the pace. We tried to make a change from race 1, but it sort of made the tyres going off at the front a lot worse. So after the first couple of laps, those guys, they were fast. And really unfortunate for Jason. He raced a good race, he deserved the win, and unfortunately had that mechanical fault. But overall, I can't be displeased with the weekend, but I would have liked to have a bit more racing, like in the first race, but it wasn't meant to be.
Graham, disastrous first race for you, some mechanical issues there, but race 2 podiums, not a wasted trip.
No, not a wasted trip. Frustrating day, I'll put it that way. Getting a third place is about as best I could have hoped for. First race was a clutch release bearing that toasted itself, so couldn't get gears, so I just couldn't continue. And then the second race, it's a bit lonely, to be honest with you. I mean, an absolutely dreadful start, and took a while to get through the 170s, and then the car came better, and then at the end I was suffering from fuel starvation, which is annoying. I managed to get a 5-second penalty for track limits, so all in all, to still get third out of that, that's not bad.
Josh, that was a better way to end the day.
Yeah, definitely. Had to work really hard for that one, but yeah, really happy with the result.
Much better race, really. It was good to have that battle, door to door, mate.
Yeah, I mean, the first race, Joe sort of ran away with it. He was on his own, and then I ended up sort of on my own. But it was a good race in this one. You know, we were on the same pace, so it was a really close race, and I enjoyed it.
Joe Delgado leads the championship from that man Josh Bromley. Matt Harvey still in third lead in Class C. The Class A lead now goes to Adam Jackson. Patrick Booth and Jason Burgess are busy chasing as we head to our last event of the season. That is at Snetterton in a few weeks' time. We hope and trust that you'll join us then. From all of us here on the Lisi Classics MG Trophy Championship, thanks for watching and bye for now.